after I had played all the parts. But how long, how vast, how severe the anguish ere I found myself were long to tell. But I found myself, and the only one that could have revealed me to myself was my Son, that I set up in the beginning before that the world was. So then we are told, so no one knows who the Son is except the Father. And no one knows who the Father is except the Son. And anyone to whom the Son chooses to reveal him. What he has to reveal him in the end, when the Father wakes. Now you take that 78th chapter of Psalms. The title of it is Asaph. That is, the psalm is the psalm of Asaph. Asaph means to gather together and to record. Take all the things and put them together. And then he said, I will open up my mouth in a parable and utter dark sayings from of old. Dark sayings from of old. Things that are difficult and hard to understand. Then now he goes through the entire story of Israel as recorded in the Old Testament. And he tells the entire story, and he tells you it's a parable. He tells you they're dark sayings, hard to understand. And then he comes to the end. It's a nice long chapter. And what does he say? And the Lord awoke as from sleep, as a man rising out of strong drink. And then he declared, David. David is his prince. David is his shepherd over all the people. At the very end, he records all the things to which man has gone. And then comes the Lord, begins to awake. And he awakes as one out of sleep, like one waking from wine, strong wine, as though it was a drunken sleep, where all things could happen. And then he awakes. And who does he call? He calls David. And the whole thing ends on the note of David, after the entire series of parables. So a parable is a story told as though it were true, letting the one who hears it wrestle with it, letting him discover the meaning behind the story. It's told as though it were true. Now one has to discover the fiction from the fact. What is it trying to convey? It's telling a story. You pass through the Red Sea. You will lift up the serpent in the wilderness. He's telling all these stories. And then it comes, and then the Lord awakes. He awakes from the parable and finds the kernel. He finds the truth, and then he calls David. So David comes into view, and David stands before you and calls you Father. And the joy that comes upon you when you see your son standing before you, you have no other child, just David. For your child in this world is a brother. I have a son and I have a daughter. They're both my brothers in eternity. I have a wife. I have other brothers here. They're all my brothers in eternity. For in eternity, we're all above the organization of sex. We are the Elohim. And the Elohim is a plural word. One made up of others. Elohim. So all of us are the gods who came down. So when you hear the word tomorrow, or you think of it tonight, do not let the mind jump to something on the outside. Commune with your own heart upon your bed, and then be silent. But see that you commune as you want to mold that picture. For the whole verse is this: be angry, but sin not. Commune with your own hearts upon your bed and be silent. But it doesn't tell you not to be angry. So the day is an explosive day. Explode, be angry, but sin not. Sin means to miss the mark. Don't now go to bed and let the sun descend upon your anger. All right? Explode. Get it off your chest, as it were. Now take the whole thing that you would throw away in the past as a broken vessel and you can't repair it. No. Keep the same vessel and rework it now into a new shape as it seemed good to you to do. So at the end of a day, all right, so it wasn't a good day. explode. And then, but sin not. Don't let the sun descend upon your anger. Stand right there and simply rework it. Rework what being? Rework yourself. You are the clay. This thing here is seeing the world based upon what you've assumed that you are. So now you actually do it. Now let me share with you a story. The lady is here tonight. This is the mother. She said, our son kept talking and talking and talking that he wanted a mini bike. Well, his father and I did not want him to have a mini bike. But he kept on talking and talking and talking about it. So one day, I thought, no, I will show him. I said, now tell me, Dusty, if you had your mini bike, where would it be now? He said, in the garage. She said, all right, it's now in the garage, right now. There it is. Now, will you go and get it? And where would you use it? Well, he said, I will use it in the driveway. Well, the mother said to Dusty, well, you know you can't do that. For we have neighbors, and they have stated in no uncertain terms, they will not tolerate a mini bike on their driveway, and their driveway joins ours. So they will not allow it. Now, where else would you use it? Well, I would use it on the street. I would drive it on the street. Well, is that allowed? The mother said. Well, he said, I don't know. Well, go and call the police and find out. So he went to the phone and called the police. And the police said, no, you're not allowed to use a mini bike on the streets. All right, that was that. Now, where else would you use it? Well, in the May lot. The May has a huge big parking lot, the May company. I'll go over there and use it. Well, you have to have permission. All right, go and call the May company and ask for permission. So he went to the phone, called the May company. And they said, no, we are open 7 days a week. And so we cannot allow a mini bike in our parking lot, for we have to use it for our customers 7 days a week. So when he got that, he went to his room for a half an hour. And when he came out, he said, I have made the decision. I don't really want a mini bike at all. And then the mother said, you know, how often I've done the same thing. I thought, really, I want this, really want this. And then I asked myself, now what would I do with it after I got it? Now I have it now. What am I going to do with it? I discovered, you know, I really don't want it at all.